What's going on, Mom and Dad? Brad and Greta Zude. Parenting with the Zudes podcast. And this episode is going to be a neat one. We're going to show you a really cool trick, a really cool product on how Greta, the lovely Miss Greta, has gotten an extra few gallons of breast milk in the first seven weeks.
Yeah.
And so we're going to go over that breastfeeding hack, how you can absolutely do that. So you're going to want to stick around. If you're listening to this on the podcast, welcome. We really, really appreciate it. And if you are on the podcast, you can head over to YouTube as well, because we're doing this live on YouTube. You can see us in the studio. We've got some product that we're going to show you as well. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're here on YouTube. And we're excited to show you our little breastfeeding secret.
You just like, do I say that word? Do I say that on here?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, no,
I think
you
so.
just hesitated a little bit, like you were.
Well,
like,
I'm just a boy playing in a girl's world, right?
True.
I mean,
true.
but you're a good breastfeeder. I mean, so we have, if this is your first time on the channel, for those of you that don't know, we have 8 children of our own, and little Miss Aubrey was born 7 weeks ago, and you've breastfed all the babies.
All of our
just
children.
been fantastic.
Mm-hmm. And most of them have been a year or more. A couple, due to some other circumstances, I did quit a little bit early, but earlier than a year. But most of them have been a year or more. So, yeah. So I've spent 8, probably about, well, yeah, almost 8, 7.5, 8 years of my life breastfeeding.
So you said something interesting there that I bet a lot of moms are going to wonder. And you said stopped at a year. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Tell us more about that decision, Greta.
More about that decision. Well, so I don't know. I always had it in my mind, like, okay, if we get to a year, that's great. And most of the time, by about a year, we're pregnant again. and I just, the first trimester is so hard anyway. I know there are lots of mamas who like breastfeed while they're pregnant, and then they breastfeed both of their children when the newborn's there, and I'm not that strong.
So wait. So you're saying they have a 2-year-old or something.
And they're nursing a newborn.
They're nursing the
both.
2-year-old.
Yeah.
And the newborn.
Yeah.
Wow.
My milk supply has never been that strong. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe if you just
that would be intense.
That would be super intense.
I mean, it's essentially like having twins.
Yeah, but one's asking for it. Like one can
say,
I want milk.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure if they're old enough to ask for it.
Well, that's kind of been our thing. Like, when they're old enough to ask for it, we're done. And whatever. Breast milk is great. It's, and it's a personal decision for each parent and each family. But it's just when we have, when we've kind of felt like, okay, I'm done. So. But
that's been difficult for you, though. I mean, it's, you're like, stopping isn't easy for you.
No, it's not.
Typically you're like, I just are you're like, are we sure? Like,
well,
are we sure?
It depends on, it kind of depends on the child too, because some love it more than others. Like, our boys tend to be, more aggressive nursers than the girls do. The girls are like, yeah, whatever, take it or leave it. And they just like, get my calories, I'm done. But the boys, they'll like comfort nurse a lot more.
Yeah.
And not that I keep them on a routine, right? But they'll just nurse longer, and they'll just like linger a little bit more than
well,
the girls.
We have big boys, obviously.
We have gigantic boys.
I mean,
gigantic boys.
They're
like
not,
their father.
They're not small.
No, they're not. So yeah, it's fun. I really enjoy nursing a lot, and
scoot your microphone in here just an inch.
Okay. Very thankful that we've done it how we've done it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. I don't think we have any regrets. I don't think we would have gone longer. But so one of the cool parts about you, and you know, I suppose not all ladies are like this, but you like to joke around that we grow big children with this milk, right? It's like heavy
whipping cream is what I call it.
Heavy cream, yeah.
Yeah. Our last son, number 7, was on the smaller side, and I'm like, what's wrong? Is there something wrong with my supply? And I actually did some weighted feeds, which we'll have to do a video on some other time.
Yeah, that's a good video topic.
But I don't know why. I guess he must have genes from my side of the family or something. You've got the big genes. And some of my family has a little bit smaller genes. But, like, I would do some weighted feeds, and at 2 months old, he was taking 13 ounces in the morning. Like, his first morning feed was 13 ounces. So, I don't know why.
What's a can of pop is what, 12 ounces?
Yeah.
Yeah, 12-ounce can.
12-ounce can, yeah. So, he was a big nurser, like all of them are. And, so.
I have to say, and this may get me in trouble, so forgive me.
Oh, boy.
But I think
you're making me nervous.
So one of the things we're gonna talk about is how you get so much milk, but like it's like a thing to share breast milk. And like there are even sites like where like you can sell your breast milk and like you describe it like
your diet.
Like organic diet, athlete, and they're trying to like
vegan and
I love businesses. I love marketing. I love turning anything possible into a business, and props to all the moms out there that do this. But I just I have a stomach that doesn't agree with my mind.
Yeah, it's a little strange, but I don't know. I share my milk because I'm stocking it away, and if I don't give it to somebody, then it'll just go waste.
So you have a couple close friends that
have babies
traditionally have needed a little extra,
right?
So
can't
we're not
enough.
We don't like post on Facebook like, hey, any of my friends out there,
right? No.
I feel like I don't know. I feel like it's like genetically like we're making us part of their babies. Like if they,
I don't think it's
like it has your DNA and it's like going into another like some Jurassic Park dinosaur morph.
You have a weird thing about that.
I don't know.
It's just weird.
It's just weird. I don't know. It's a girl thing. But
okay.
So you've gotten a couple extra gallons. I mean, the freezer's like, there's like frozen chicken nuggets, and then like frozen peas, and then like breast milk. Like it falls out of the door when we open the door.
This is my 3rd batch too. Like I've already given away 2 batches of bunch of milk to a couple different people.
Yeah.
So, and I am not like a heavy producer. I would not describe myself as a heavy producer. Like there's some moms that are like, I'm a cow and I have an oversupply, and that's never been me. Like I've always had enough, and that's about all I had. And I'll start to stock. So I'll feed my babies during the day, and then once they drop that dream feed, that last feeding before I go to bed at like 10 p.m., then I pump at that time, and I usually get between 3 and 5 ounces, and that's how I get up a freezer supply. But now, in addition to that, which I'll be able to pump, I'm also getting some other ounces throughout the day. So, all right. So should we just get into it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's show them.
Here's my.
Here, let me get it.
The magic.
For the close up here for those of you on the YouTube channel here. Let me get my face out of it. I don't think that'll probably happen here.
It's not focusing.
It's not focusing. Put your hand over your face. Cover your face. Cover your face.
Oh, there it goes.
There it goes.
Nice.
We got that like face. Got face sensing.
Face recognition. Yes.
Facial recognition.
All right.
China's spying on us.
This is the Haakaa. There are other brands.
Say that again in case someone's never heard of it.
The Haakaa.
Haakaa. H-A-A-K-A-A.
Yep. What? Does it have 2 A's at the end? Seriously?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're
Yeah.
right. Wow, really good. All right. You know what you're talking about. So, they make. I mean, there's lots of knockoffs to this.
Sure.
And I don't know for certain, but I've heard that they work the same. So this one is probably a little bit more expensive. Like you'll pay a couple more dollars for the Haakaa name. And
probably worth it. So how much is that one then?
This one was 14 something on Amazon.
Yeah.
And this doesn't come with a plug, and this is the 4-ounce version. They have a 5-ounce one that actually has like a suction at the bottom, because
what do you do with the suction? Oh,
tippage is a big problem. Because if you have
it's top heavy with that big suction thing.
Yeah, exactly. And then if you just bump it, it's like it's gone.
But this thing, this Haakaa brand, and again we haven't had others, 100% silicone, but this is like really thick.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
Nice quality plastic.
Okay, so here's
worth it.
Well, okay, hold on. I've got some hacks here. I've got
so explain what it is though.
Okay.
It's not a breast.
It is a pump. Well, it's a manual pump.
It's a breast pump.
Yes. And so when you have your baby, you're nursing on one side, you're going to catch the letdown on the other side. And, yeah. So sometimes, you might have a little leakage on one side, but this actually suctions, you're suctioning it on your breast, and so you're suctioning out the milk. Okay? So, should I tell you how to use it?
Well, don't show us.
I'm not going to show you. I'm not going to demonstrate.
This is a PG channel.
Okay, and here's what I learned. So the directions say...
So here, let's
get out my little balloon.
Well,
okay.
Yeah. Here's what I'm gonna focus the video.
Okay. Oh, now you're gonna make me have to go really high. All right. So the directions say squeeze, pop on, and it's kind of hard with a balloon. And then squeeze until you get a nice suction on there. But depending on how full you are. Here's the way, like the less full you are, the harder it is to do. So what I found out from somebody else is that you have to do the fold over method, and then you can center nipple and then flip it over.
You just gotta flip it.
All right. And then you can squeeze as necessary to get a really, really deep suction on there. And that makes for a better suction. And then occasionally throughout, like, I don't know if some people do this, but I do this, as it, fills up, you gotta...
Oh. Sorry.
Oh, okay. You're just messing things up
Messing
here.
it all up.
All right, occasionally you'll just have to re-suction as, the suction starts to decrease. So that's how you get it on there. Now, I do one side, and then I always have my pump bottle with me, and then I dump it in there because then I do the other side, and it's too full to put on the other side. I just don't like that to do that. And this is for the spillage thing. Okay, if you don't have, I always put it in this, and I always have the lid, so it works out, and I don't have to worry about spilling, because my kids come in, and whatever, and people are everywhere, and arms are flying. But if that's not what you need to do, that's not bothersome, all you do is take a coffee mug, pop it in there, and it's not going to spill. Put this on your nightstand there.
My first thought was, like, I don't understand how you're feeding on one side, and then, like, you're draining the other side that you're going to put them on. Don't they, like, not then get enough if you just got, like, four ounces out of the side they're about to go on?
You probably won't get 4 ounces out unless you're a cow. And I'm not. Like, in the morning, I can get 3 ounces out of the side I'm not nursing on. And that's not usually all there is. And babies' suction and suck is way stronger than this. So they're going to get out way more than this could. So
this is just complete bonus.
This just
100% milk.
Yeah. And this will take from one side, and then as you switch sides and baby nurses on the other side, you can get the leftovers from this side. But it will probably stimulate another letdown, which tells your body that you need to produce more milk. So your production overall is going to increase. So you're not just stealing from the baby. You're increasing your supply.
Well, because your
overall.
body makes what it needs
Right.
to make.
It's a demand and supply type of thing. That's breastfeeding is. So the more you tell your body I need, the more your body will produce. So, so I think that I'm not sure what the studies are, if there are actual studies, but I think that it can increase your supply.
Yeah. So if someone's worried about not enough, this helps as opposed to,
Right.
hey, baby's not going to get enough or something like that.
And I think you want to be careful if your baby's super fussy and not content after feeding and needs a feeding really quickly afterwards. Then, okay, maybe this isn't for you. Maybe you are stealing from your baby. You know, maybe you want to wait until baby's completely done and then use a electric pump. But I think if you have a decent supply, this can even boost it a little bit more. So
well, and that's one of the things we talk about in our program, My Baby Can Sleep. There's links in the description there below. Is that you have to be. We're #1 best-selling baby sleep authors. We help thousands of parents get their babies sleeping through the night and get on the right routine, though, right? So I mean, it's all about being on a solid routine, and when you're doing that, and then you're optimizing this as well, you're just crushing it.
right.
Because there might be a lot of reasons why a baby might be hungry or those sorts of things, because we have a lot of moms and dads and families that come to us where they're sporadic feeding and big feedings and little feedings and one right after the other, and it's not this systematic approach that stabilizes baby's metabolism and helps regulate your body, and because obviously a schedule's not only good for baby but regulates your supply.
It does. Yeah. And most people think, oh, well, when you're on a schedule, if you're routine feeding, then your supply is going to be really low. And while that is true for a very small percentage of women, most women find that your body regulates really, really nicely. You're not producing too much, and because baby's nursing all the time, but you're not producing too little either. You're producing just what baby needs. So,
Gotcha.
And I can produce a little bit more. So my one thing I will say about this is that, okay, this is supposed to be a 4-ounce thing. Okay, and I have my 4 ounces of liquid here. I'm just going to show you. Okay, what happens when you have 4 ounces. There is no way, absolutely no way you are going to fill this thing to 4 ounces. Because
So that's 4 ounces up. We gotta hide our faces here.
There you go.
With that is filled
To the top.
To the
of
brim. Yeah. If you're inside that, there's no way that's happening.
And it has to be, tipped to you, to fit your body. And then if you're squeezing to get a little bit more, like I've had 2.5 ounces in here, and I give it a good squeeze, and I'm like, oh, I just got.
So in hindsight, you said they come in different sizes. We should have got the.
Well,
the 5 because that's
so.
4
I don't
ounce.
think so because
5 ounce.
You've got baby here and this on the other side, and then it'd be too long. Like it'd be too big. That's what I've heard about the 5 ounces. It's hard to fit. When you've got your baby nursing and then that as well, and there's just no room for it. Yeah, I don't expect you to understand.
I hate it when that happens to me.
I know.
I run out of room every time.
Yeah. So I think it's fine. And if you need, I've never gotten to the top. I get about 3 ounces and I'm good. So, and that's about all I push for. And that's good enough for me.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's my one critique about it is, I don't know, could you make the shape a little different to fit the 4 ounces? And so when you squeeze, it's not overflowing.
Yeah. Absolutely. So we'll put a link to the Haakaa in the description below. And if you have a baby and you're wondering about nursing or baby sleep or anything else like that, you can get a copy of our #1 best-selling book on Amazon. Just type in My Baby Can Sleep. There's links in the description. And if you want to be one of the thousands of families that have worked with us and be just like them and get all this done for you, you can check out our My Baby Can Sleep program in the description in there as well, and we'd love to have you. And again, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're watching us on YouTube as well. Really appreciate it. We're going to link a couple of more baby videos below here that we think that you will love, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.